I consider myself extremely blessed today that on this 105th birth anniversary of Swami Chinmayanandaji Maharaj, whom we fondly refer to as Gurudev, that I am able to share a few thoughts with all of you. To me, before he became Swamiji, he was a very dear brother. In a way, he was a cousin to me because his stepmother was my aunt. So we all grew in a sort of family, big family sort of. Then Swamiji went for his studies, and once in a way only we used to see him. Then I remember in 1950, not 50s, 48 or 49, when Swamiji took sannyas, the news came to us and the family had a shock. Nobody expected such a brilliant young man who was so much immersed in the worldly life in Delhi and Lucknow and all that. Suddenly he has taken to sannyas. It came as a shock. But that shock slowly waned away as we found him steadily growing into a man worthy of adoration. So I found him as a brother, started loving him as a brother, but finally as I grew up, I started adoring him as a world teacher, as a propounder of our spiritual texts, as a teacher par excellence. So for quite a few years we had no connection at all. Then again, while I was a student in Madras University, Swamiji used to visit Madras almost every year without fail. And that is from 1957 to 1968 till I left Madras. I don't think I have missed even one lecture of Swamiji. If Swamiji comes somewhere far away, he is giving more morning lectures, sadhana studies and all that, I will be there. Evening lectures, of course, I will be there. So without missing anything, I used to hear all his lectures and attentively listen to his words. And I renewed my contact with Swamiji, always going and spending some time with him in Saturday, Sundays and all that, and anticipating probably that I may go his way, he showered his love and affection on me. That was something remarkable. All the Chinmaya Mission people know how he loved me and how he cared for me. Every time I go there, suddenly his mood will change, he will be very playful, he will tease me, he will say, why are you wasting your time picking up flowers and stems and leaves? Why are you wasting your time looking into the microscope? Can't you do something worthwhile? Look, I am starting a new center, Sandipani Sadhanalaya, and why don't you come and join there as my student? Swamiji says, Swamiji, I am your student, all right, I will learn everything from you, but you know, there is some difficulty. What is the difficulty? I have in heart another person. Hi, you have another person in your heart. Who is that? Swamiji, you know who is that? Swami Vivekananda is there. From my childhood I adore, I worship him as my guru. Oh, that is good. Somebody is in your heart, isn't it? That is all that I want. It need not be me. Let it be Vivekananda, because there is no difference between me and Vivekananda. We have come for the same purposes. He came at a particular time, I came at a different time. So, because of that probably I feel he had a special corner for me. Whenever I go to him, he will shower his affection and love on me and guide me in everything. He will find out where I stand in my spiritual upliftment. He was very, very particular about all that. And very many are instances when Swamiji has projected me before the audience, saying I am his very, very affectionate sister. Once I remember in the Senate Hall in Trivandrum, Swamiji's the Gita Yajna inauguration, Swamiji sent word to Kanyakumari asking me to come and do the inauguration. So I went with a all full of trepidation. I stood there how to inaugurate a Gita Jnana Yajna of Swami Chinmayanandaji Maharaj. But he came and hugged me in front of everybody and said, look, you know who she is my sister. And I am so happy she is going to inaugurate my Jnana Yajna. So, he was so happy that I took to this way of life. Tyaga and Seva, how I adopted it into my life, that was something which brought me very, very close to each other. And every time he came to Madras or while I was in Delhi, we used to be in touch with each other. Whenever I write to him, immediately he will send the reply, and he always used to write in his own handwriting. And what I want to share with you all on this happy day, when we remember Gurudev, is the last message which he gave us. We are all blessed citizens of a great country, Punya Bhumi Bharat, and it should be our bounden duty to see that India regains her glory. She becomes a Jagat Guru, because that is what she is meant for. So for that, what we should do? So Swamiji sent me I think it was on 7th September 1982. March I joined Kendra, and he gave me some time to settle down and absorb the plus and minus values of a new organization. And then he wrote to me this. By that time the founder, Mani Eknathji Ranade, had passed away, and Swamiji knew probably I would have had many occasions when I will be feeling very helpless. So he wrote to me, see, whenever you are in trouble, get into your room, close your doors, and think of Sri Krishna's words to Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhava sabhyasajin. We are all instruments in the Lord's hand, and it is He who decides where we should be, how we should work. All that is decided by Him. So surrender yourself to Sri Krishna and do all your work as a nimitta. And this is what I would like to share with all of you. To make India great, who will do that? There is no Vivekananda with us, no Chinmayananda with us, but we are all there. So each one of us must transform oneself into a nimitta in Sri Krishna's hand and work to regain the glory of this great motherland. That would be the best gift, best homage we can pay to our beloved Gurudev. And let his blessings guide us, show us the way, how each one of us, through our individual and collective lives, can add to the glory of this great nation as he himself did. Thank you.